From MNT-EC, the Micro Nano Technology Education Center, this is Talking Technicians, the podcast about technicians, who they are, what they do, and where they come from. I'm your host, Peter Kazarnoff. I teach technicians and engineers at Portland Community College. In each episode, you'll meet a working technician and hear their story. That means real interviews with real technicians about real jobs. At the end of each episode, you'll hear actions you can take if you want to be a technician too. In this episode, you'll meet Jose. Jose works for Genentech in South San Francisco. Jose, welcome to Talking Technicians.
Thanks, Peter. I'm glad to be here.
Jose, Genentech's in South San Francisco. Is that where you live too?
I currently live in Berkeley.
You live in Berkeley, and did you grow up in the Bay Area or did you move there?
I grew up in the Bay Area.
And you grow up around Berkeley or some other part?
Berkeley.
So maybe then we'll hop into your work. So you work at Genentech. What's your job title and what do you do day to day?
So I currently work for Genentech as a manufacturing quality assurance. A typical day like for me is I perform batch production record review. I lead and assist with discrepancy investigations as well as interact with interdepartmental contacts and review and approve control documents for Genentech.
How long have you been with Genentech for, Jose?
About a year and 3 months.
So do you have an idea of what kind of the ballpark salary is for a job as a technician, somebody working in the biotech industry like you do?
Maybe in the lower 50.
And what part of your work, Jose, do you feel like is most exciting? When you get up in the morning, what are you most excited to do at work?
The investigations. That's definitely more of like, okay, it's more hands-on. We have issues and analyzing any discrepancy takes more time and I get to learn a lot more. So that's the most exciting part for me.
And when you mention investigations, Jose, what kind of investigations are you talking about?
So an investigation would be somewhat of so we have production going on inside the production building. A leak, there's a leak going on inside. So we need to assess that particular event. Is it a discrepancy? What product quality impact will it have to the product? So it's following a decision tree for us to analyze what the impact will be to the product if anything like this occurs down the line.
Jose, do you work in a team or do you mostly work alone at work?
Mostly alone, but if any investigation, if I have to investigate, we work in a team.
And do you work with other technicians, Jose, or there are lots of different job roles like scientists, engineers that you also work with?
I work with engineers, I work with technicians, I work with quality, and I work with quality control.
And Jose, what kind of communication tools do you use at work? And what kind of communication tools do you use with those people that you work with?
We communicate with each other quite often, to be honest. We collaborate, we present. I think, honestly, presenting is the biggest skill we do here. We're always presenting our work. We're always meeting. We have to work together. And that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Jose, what does it feel like giving presentations at work?
Okay. Actually, I've been presenting for 2 months straight. So you're going to be really informed, number one, about what's going on inside the production line. You are going to learn how to present better. And it's sort of exciting, but sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming when there's a lot of issues or a lot to work with. But overall, I like presenting and it allows me to learn a lot more about what's going on the floor, on the manufacturing floor.
Jose, do you remember what it felt like your first day at work at Genentech? What did it feel like walking in the doors the very first day of work there?
So a little bit intimidating because I came from USDA where I was a lab aide. This role was quite more advanced than where I was at. So the first day I was like, oh my gosh, okay, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm ready for it. Um, and not only it was a little bit intimidating because I've never worked in a group of, I'm sorry, with a group of people that were so experienced. And right now I work with people that have over 25 to 30 years of experience. And being the newest member there, I definitely feel a little bit intimidated. But today I'm good. I feel good.
Jose, you mentioned that you came from the USDA. Now that you're at Genentech, are there any opportunities for professional growth?
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, you there's so much room to grow at Genentech. Um, like we're currently right now I'm in manufacturing quality assurance and I'm reaching out to different departments. Clinical lot disposition, that's where the product is assessed for any issues before it's released into the market, or commercial lot disposition. That's another area. Uh, Investigations, engineer positions that you could transition from quality, and you could also move forward with quality control. So opportunities there, yeah, you have a lot.
Jose, do you work shifts or do you work a regular 9 to 5 schedule at Genentech?
I work, so we have two different schedules. So we have a 7 a.m. until 9 p.m., 4 days a week. So I work about 14, 15 hours, 4 days in a row. So it's not a regular, shift.
And Jose, you mentioned what the ballpark salary would be for working as a technician in the biotech industry, but what about other benefits like retirement or health insurance? Are those things included when you work at Genentech?
So my current role with Genentech, I am a contractor. So the technician role, when I mentioned that to you, it's more of the lab aid. For this role, particularly, it's more in the high 90s. That's currently where I'm at. And with benefits, when you are a contractor, that's a third party that comes in and hires you, you will be paying for any benefits. But when you are a direct hire with Genentech, yeah, there's a lot of benefits. And that's where I'm trying to get.
Jose, let's talk about how you got to where you are now. You mentioned that you worked for the USDA. What was your work experience before your current role?
Before my current role, I worked at a restaurant. And during that time, I was like, oh, okay, I need to make a change. I need to see what I truly like and how I could get there. So I began by attending the City College in San Francisco, where I completed an internship. I completed that internship. I moved forward. I worked at USDA. I got the opportunity to write an abstract and publish an abstract as an intern. And I was there for about 2 years, and that's where I am currently today at Genentech.
Jose, you mentioned that you went to community college. How did you find out about that program and know about careers in biotechnology?
So one day I'm like, okay, so I live in Berkeley, and I'm looking up online. Let's see, where would be the best place for me to research, to go to school, to kind of involve myself in biotechnology. So I typed that in on Google, and I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, I saw the biotech program at City College. And the difference between this program versus the other programs is that they have a lot of the machinery for you to practice, to conduct experiments, which separated different community colleges from this one, where you would be getting way more hands-on experience, and all these skills that were required in the biotech world, they provided for you. So you would be leaving this college with all the skills that you required that you would not even gain from a four-year university.
Jose, besides those technical hands-on skills that you mentioned, did you learn any interpersonal skills, also sometimes called soft skills, that you use in your job today?
Yeah, definitely networking, communicating, collaborating. I find those to be really important. I have noticed myself that when I collaborate, when I network, when I get to know everybody, I feel like I have been climbing that ladder extremely quick. So yeah, definitely.
Jose, what was the hardest part of your community college program when you went through it?
Chemistry. Chemistry was tough. I didn't have any background with chemistry, and I coming in, I definitely felt a lot of work was coming my way. So that was a little bit challenging. Um, and time management, that's one thing that I was like, man, I'm going to take 6 classes. I'll get straight A's. And then I realized, wait, okay, I need to slow down. I need to understand the workload. I need to understand um, how I could do it best, but definitely chemistry and time management.
And you mentioned that there was an internship component to your community college program. Can you describe that a little more? What does it mean to do an internship while you're at community college?
So in the beginning, when I started the program, I looked at the PDF file of the curriculum. And when I saw the internship, I already knew that it was going to be very beneficial. So I completed the biotech lab assistant certification. So in order for you to complete that certification, you would have to go through the internship program. So how did I get there? So the City College in San Francisco has a particular program where you'll mimic a presentation. You'll have 2 mentors that will help you find an internship. That way, you could progress into maybe getting hired at that position. So for me at USDA and at City College, I conducted and I was researching all day. I'm like, okay, let me see where I could go if someone will offer me an opportunity. So I reached out to the USDA, and after reaching out to maybe like 4 or 5 different biotech companies, they actually reached out to me and offered me an interview. So once I completed that process, I was there for about 6 months, and that portion was more of me getting hands-on, having that experience that I needed to really understand what it's like to work in a biotech department. And that internship actually led to where I am today, because during the time I actually wrote an abstract, presented my work, which I had no experience in there. And yeah, the internship is, I feel like it's almost mandatory. It would be a good way to go, and it it's the catalyst to get to where you want to be.
Jose, how did your life change after you graduated community college? What was different for you compared to when you started?
It changed so much. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was working in the actual field that I wanted to. I saw my career take off like it never did, honestly. Like I was presenting constantly, I was writing constantly, and I felt like my life became it facilitated. It became much easier. I was actually working in the field that I wanted to, and I felt more motivated to continue and head towards the career that I wanted to be ultimately. So yeah, for that 2-year program, I feel very competent.
Jose, what's something unexpected about working in the biotech industry that you only learned after you started?
Expect to make mistakes a lot, and it's okay to make mistakes. That's the only way you're going to grow. I went in there thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure all my experiments are accurate. I have to make sure that everything's on. But you know what? That expectation will soon kind of be more clear. Um, I did try my best every single time, and that's one thing that I felt. Oh my gosh, like I don't think anyone makes any mistakes in the lab, or anything that I felt that if I would make a minor mistake, I would pretty much lose my internship. But no, that they're very understanding.
Jose, you transitioned careers. You went from working in restaurants, going to community college, and now working in biotechnology. What advice would you give current students or people who want to transition their careers and work in an industry like you?
Technical writing, that's very significant. So make sure your writing skills are pretty good. Research for an internship. Begin with an internship. You'll really know what it's like to work in the biotech field. You'll get a hands-on if this is really what you want to do. and networking with everyone in the biotech world will really allow you to expand your opportunities. Have maybe two mentors. Talk to a few people that have gone through it already, and they can help you get where you want to be faster. Um, Stay consistent. That's very important.
Jose, do you have a final call to action for folks that want to join the biotechnology workforce? What would you tell them to get started?
Have a plan ready. Go through the program and be like, okay, this semester I'm going to take care of all these classes, and be sure that everything's getting done. Make sure you reach out to your mentors. Make sure you open up yourself to different opportunities. You never know who you might meet that could take your career to the next level or help you land where you want to land.
Jose, thank you so much for sharing your story with me, both what you've done professionally and then your community college experience, and for being on Talking Technicians.
Yeah, no problem. I'm ready.
Please keep in touch.
Anytime.
Talking Technicians is produced by MNT-EC, the Micro Nano Technology Education Center, through financial support from the National Science Foundation's Advanced Technological Education Grant Program. Opinions expressed on this podcast do not necessarily represent those of the National Science Foundation. Join the conversation. If you are a working technician or know someone who is, reach out to us at info@talkingtechnicians.org. We're always looking out for great guests to share more stories with you.